Hello friends. In this lecture on default routing, we will discuss about the default routing, its advantages, disadvantages, and some important points about the default routing. So let's start with the default routing. First of all, what is a default routing? Default routing is a type of routing which sends all IP requests to a single fixed default gateway. Default routing is a subtype of static routing which we will discuss shortly. Default routes and default routing is useful when dealing with a network with a single exit point. It is also useful when a bulk of destination networks have to be routed to a single next hop device or a router. When adding a default route, we should ensure that the next hop device can route the packets further. Otherwise, the next hop device will drop the packet and the whole idea of default routing will fail. A default route is presented by 0/0 for IPv4 and /0 for IPv6 networks. A default route always gets the lowest priority when making the routing decisions. Default route, the host portion, network portions, and the prefix length all are always 0. Therefore, it gets the last and lowest priority by a router when finding the best path for routing. When a router receives a packet to forward, it tries to find the best path to that destination by looking at the entries in the routing table. However, if the router is unable to find a match in the routing table, then it will finally match a default route, which is the last priority. Default route is a subtype of static routes. The difference between a default route and a normal static route is that a default route is used to send packets destined to any unknown destination to a single next hop address. There are certain merits and demerits associated with each type of routing. So let's discuss about default routing first of all. The main advantage of default routing is that it is less resource intensive. There is no overhead in terms of CPU and memory of a router because it does not have to do any calculations. It simply forwards all the packets it receives to a default gateway. Another advantage is that it is less bandwidth intensive between the routers, and it has a small routing table. There is not a lot of routing table. There is only one route which is called default route. They allow connectivity to remote networks even they are not in the routing table at all. Default routing is useful when a bulk of destination networks have to be routed to a single next hop device, and there is no advanced level of knowledge required by the network administrator. Anybody can manage default routing. That's why we have default routing at our home routers, and we never have to do anything about it. It automatically runs, and you don't need to know about the detail of the default routing. Therefore, it is easy to manage. However, there are some demerits and disadvantages of the default routing. The main disadvantage is that it is not a fault tolerant mechanism. If one link to the default gateway fails, it is not auto routed to the available paths. The whole routing goes down. For example, if our home router fails to forward the traffic to the default gateway, the whole routing and the whole internet connection of our home or office, it will go down. Therefore, it is impractical on the large networks, and there is no load balancing mechanism available in the default routing. We have only one default gateway, and all the requests and all the routes are forwarded to that default gateway. These are some of the important points about the default routes. First is that admin distance of the default static route is always 255. That's why it is the last preferred route due to the highest admin distance. Default route is represented by 0000/0 for IPv4 and /0 in IPv6 networks. All portions are 0. Default routes are the least preferred routes in routing table. In default routing, we send all IP requests to a single fixed default gateway. Default routes handle the traffic for unknown destinations. Even we do not know the destination, we can still use the default routing. This is the case which happens when we are using the internet at our home using the default routing. For example, when we open google.com, our local computer or the router does not know the IP address. So it simply forwards everything to the default gateway, which forwards it further to find google.com on the internet. Default routes handle traffic for unknown destinations, and default routes are less resource and bandwidth intensive, as we discussed above. Default routes are not fault tolerant. Default routes are not practical for the large networks. So these are some of the important points worth of mentioning and to remember for interviews and for personal learning about the default routes. Summarize the default routing before we close the topic. We have discussed about the default routing, which is a type of routing that sends all the IP requests to a single fixed default gateway. We have also discussed some merits and demerits of default routing, which include the less resource intensive nature of default routing, less bandwidth requirement, small routing table, and no advanced knowledge required. And the disadvantage is that it is not a fault tolerant mechanism and it is impractical without load balancing. Then we also discussed some important points about the default routing, about its admin distance and presentation and default gateway and fault tolerance and so on. Please follow my ATech website for related detail, cheat sheets, interview questions and answers, quizzes, and many other useful resources on the same topic. Just browse to aurum.com/atech and point to the relevant section. All links are given in the description of this video as well. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page for more and updated videos.